Hello and welcome to the next edition of the TMS podcast. I am Hollywood Sean Buchanan. The whole crew is back in the building tonight with my guys, Seyi Romanera and Aaron Cass. This is your first time listening to us. We thank you for tuning in. You can find us on all major streaming platforms. So, fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm about to actually head to Mexico City in about a couple of weeks. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. Wait, why Jesus? Is that Jesus as in good Jesus or as in bad Jesus?
No, that's good.
That's good. Okay. Yeah. It's a PTO vacation, so just want to check it out.
Must be nice.
No, that's dope. Because you went last year too, didn't you?
Oh no. I left to a different country a few months ago, and that was Brazil.
Brazil. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like last year. Okay, yeah. No,
That one was for work. This one is for leisure.
Got you. Okay. Listen, anytime you get a chance to go out the country, it's leisure.
Oh yeah.
Because the scenery, and then obviously I know what you had a chance to experience out there was pretty dope. So no, that's awesome. Just in the words of Aaliyah and DMX, just come back in one piece. But yeah, that's dope.
And see, that's the perception of Mexico too. Like the dangerous parts of Mexico are not like the parts I'm going to. So
just stay on the resort.
Yeah, exactly. Get you some drinks, stay by the pool, and just go from there. But speaking of danger, for those who listen to the show, you would be surprised that we're starting with this, but it's all good. That's it's the summertime, but this is relevant and it's one of the biggest stories so far. So yes, Lionel Messi has joined the MLS. He plays down in Miami and has had a hell of a start. He has scored the game winner in his debut. He scored 2 more goals last night as we record this on a Wednesday night by beating the Atlanta United 4-2 or 4-0.
4-0. Of course, we didn't score anything.
Scored 2 more goals yesterday. So Shay, I'll start with you. As someone who is by far the soccer aficionado on this show, just what are your thoughts been so far with Messi's, with Messi starting in MLS?
I mean, no surprise, no surprise at all. Like it's like Michael Jordan in 1998. Instead of playing for the Chicago Bulls, he's playing for the Shanghai Sharks in the Chinese league. This is the exact equivalent because Messi is a little bit older, but he's still a top 5 player in the world. It's not like he's really well past his prime. He's not getting you 91 goals in the season again like he did back in 2014, I believe. But he's still a top 5 player in the world. And a top 5 player in the world playing in a league like the MLS, it's just not fair. Inter Miami was the last place team in the MLS. They got Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, Messi's former teammate back in Barcelona, and he's still a decent player himself. And now they're just going to run the MLS ragged. Like you said, he had a game winner, 94th minute free kick, typical Messi free kick, won the game for them. And then yesterday, well, as we're recording this, July 26th, so July 25th against Atlanta United, had 2 goals and 1 assist. And if you saw one of those goals, Sergio Busquets had all day. Like Atlanta United defenders were just watching him pick out a pass 30 yards out to Messi. They were just watching him. Like, you don't give Sergio Busquets that much space. Do you at least watch YouTube and know what Sergio Busquets can do? I know what Sergio Busquets can do. Why doesn't the MLS players know what Sergio Busquets can do? Picked out a pass to Lionel Messi, easy goal. This is just not competitive. I'm not shocked. Like, you can't be shocked. Carlos Vela, for example, he was a decent player for Real Sociedad back in La Liga. Didn't he have 38 goals in one season in the MLS? And he was just an above average player in the Spanish league. We're talking about Lionel Messi in the MLS. Come on now, there's nothing shocking about this. I'm just mad that I waited too late to get a ticket. I should have just got a ticket just in case he came to Inter Miami. I waited too late, so I probably won't see him unless I don't know, just probably take a shift back in my old retail job. I'm like, hey, you need somebody for the weekend? I know you're going to have a lot of people. I'm probably going to just do that just so I can see Messi play in Atlanta, because that's all I'm mad about. But there's nothing surprising about this. Not at all.
When did they come back though? You know when they come back?
So when they played against Atlanta, they played in Miami yesterday for the Leagues Cup, which is a cup between American teams and Mexican teams. They'll be playing a MLS League game against Atlanta United in September, and they'll be playing in Atlanta.
Okay.
So for anyone out there, Seyi needs a ticket.
Anything under 100. I'm just gonna let you know that, because I follow the Atlanta United ticket exchange Facebook group. It's an unofficial Facebook group with fans exchanging tickets. There was one fan there that already put his ticket down for that game, $500 each.
Wow.
For one ticket. And it wasn't like good seats either. It's like in the 200 section. $500 each.
But I think that's the, because I think people have been asking, like, or not asking, but I guess talking about what the impact will be, right? Like, that's the impact right there, right? People know that everyone wants to see him, so people are gonna price gouge like crazy because they know people are gonna pay that amount to go see him. So my thing is, do you think, Aaron, you can answer this too, but do you think other guys that have dominated, elsewhere will start to come over here and do the same thing, or is this really just like another one-off, like when they back in the day?
It was already happening before, because Messi's boss right now, David Beckham, he was the pioneer to do this. He went from Europe to the MLS. The difference between him and Messi is that he wasn't a top player in the world, especially at the time. He was well past his prime when he went to the MLS. You couldn't tell the media that, because the media made it seem like this was the best thing ever to happen to the MLS. And the kicker to get David Beckham to come to the MLS was that the MLS cut a deal with him in that if he played for the MLS, he can get a stake in owning a team in the future. And behold, he owns Inter Miami now because of that. So I think, like, a kicker like that, and who knows, maybe Messi probably has that deal too. Maybe that encourages players like on that level to come to the MLS. But maybe what Messi is encouraging now, that players who still can play in Europe at a top level, they might come to MLS instead of coming there when they're well past their prime. If they can still play at a top level, they're like, hey, who knows? Maybe Mbappe in his 30s, in his early 30s, he might come to the MLS. He already loves hanging out with NBA players, as I see. So, Who knows? So it might encourage more players in their prime to come to the MLS.
I think what's crazy is that he doesn't want that $776 million contract for the year playing in the Saudi League, but he wants to go to Real Madrid.
Listen,
because
he would be on the bench, right? He'd be on the bench if he played over there.
For Real Madrid or for? Oh, he'll be starting everywhere he goes. Mbappe, he'll be starting at any team he can go to.
Gotcha. No, well, I listen, and I don't know what's going on in Saudi Arabia. Like, I have not looked into anything, but listen, 700, like seven. I want to be clear. I want to say this clear. I'm not. I enunciate my word. $776 million, not thousand, not 7,760. $776 million to play for just for a year. You ain't even got to stay for 3 or 4 years, just for one season. I'm doing that just for the bag, and then I'll come back. He's 24 years old. What are we talking about? Are you kidding me?
Because for a soccer player, like, the thing is, he plays for PSG. Money bags PSG. He's already making a crazy amount of money. So it's just more like, for him, I think he's more concerned. Because the fact that he wants to leave PSG just already tells me is not really about the money for him. Well, not all about money, because he's already extremely rich. He's already filthy rich. He has an ego in that he wants to be recognized as the next Messi and the next Ronaldo. He wants to be the next guy after their era, since Ronaldo's playing in Saudi Arabia. Messi, as we mentioned, he's playing in the USA. So he wants to be the new guy. How can you be the new guy if you're going to go to Saudi Arabia in your prime? No, you got to play for Real Madrid. You got to play for Barcelona. And every top French player loves playing for Real Madrid. So that's usually the thing among
facts.
French players.
Gotcha.
So he wants to go to Real Madrid. He wants to be known as the guy to take the torch from Messi, Ronaldo. You ain't gonna do that if you go 1 year in Saudi Arabia. Fans will say that you're just a mercenary. You're just there for the money, because the fact that we can't watch Mbappe if he goes to Saudi Arabia, that the TV contracts don't have Mbappe. It's hard enough to watch Live Golf. So like, how are we going to watch the Saudi league if Mbappe goes to the Saudi league? He's about his legacy, so he ain't gonna go. When I saw that contract, I still knew he wasn't going. I know he was gonna go because he's all about his legacy.
I mean, Ronaldo said that the Saudi league is way better than European soccer.
Ronaldo at 24 years old wouldn't say that. Ronaldo right now would say that. At 30, how old is he? 37, 38? Ronaldo right now would say that. But Ronaldo at 24 wouldn't take that deal either.
Interesting. But isn't Real Madrid in shambles? Didn't they have their coach left, and then they all kind of fell apart?
Oh no!
Or am I thinking of
No, Real Madrid still has Carlo Ancelotti. This is going to be his last year, but it's not like they're in shambles. It's more that like he agreed this will be his last year at Real Madrid before they just move on to a different regime. But no, Real Madrid is at a high point right now. Real Madrid is like, this is one of their best runs as a club in recent memory.
So I don't know the details. Obviously, I mean, I've heard of these teams because obviously those are the teams that get put, I think, out there the most. Well, that I've seen anyways. What? But I mean, I know that you said the legacy thing is a sticking point, so I get that, and I didn't think about that angle because, like I said, all I heard was $776 million, and I was like, well,
I don't blame you.
For a year, once again, if they said 5-10 years, I'd have been like, I don't know, but. Once again, for 1 year, and I saw the breakdown of it's like 64 a month, whatever per minute per second. I'm like, yo, that's insane to me. So just on the surface, I was like, yo, like that to me is crazy. But if he is to go to Barcelona or to Real Madrid, like what like, I mean, you said money's not a thing, but what can they still offer? Because he's 24, so the money's still going to come in at a high clip. So. What could they offer him financially if he's a transfer over there?
Well, okay, so let me look up the highest paid player at Real Madrid right now, and then I can give you a gauge of how much he'll be paid. So
gotcha.
Let me see who is currently the highest paid player at Real Madrid.
Mike, you better get Anissa ready, Eli ready, Aaron.
Currently, the highest paid player, not just in Real Madrid, but in La Liga, which is the Spanish league, is Frankie De Jong. And he's making $40.48 million a year, which is kind of crazy because like Jaylen Brown clears that. Jaylen Brown clears that, so
crazy.
But I'll say that Mbappe will be $50 million, if not $60 million. Then if he's the highest paid. I don't know how accurate this article is right now. Like, I don't know how dated that is, but if that's the highest paid, he's making at least 10 more. But I say about 60. He's gonna break the wage structure. I know that. Nothing crazy like Saudi Arabia, but he'll break the wage structure there. The thing is, La Liga.
He'll get what David Beckham got then. David Beckham got $50 million a year, didn't he? To come over here at the time. Around
but number. That's different. Well, that's different. I don't think he got $50 million a year, especially not in the time he came, because inflation right now, $50 million a year right back then would be like $100 million right now. But the difference with La Liga compared to the Saudi League is Saudi League doesn't really have a salary cap. La Liga has a salary cap, so you can't. So to factor that in, Mbappe might not even be paid $60 million a year, because if you pay Mbappe $6 million a year, you're going to have to let some players go. That's the reason why Messi left Barcelona. That's really the real reason why Messi left. La Liga enforced a salary cap, and because of that, Barcelona couldn't afford to pay Messi, which is why he left the PSG and then to the MLS. So Mbappe is probably going to even take a pay cut from PSG, probably, most likely. But it just seems he's so dead set on going to Real Madrid that, hey, it might not be a problem for him, because at the end of the day, he's still a multi-millionaire. So it's not like he is struggling for money.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just, listen, man. And once again, if he was 34, I'd have been like, yo, I get you. You want to get some championships. You want to end.
No, if he was 34, I believe he would go, because his career, like 34 for a soccer player, usually, unless you're Messi, like your career is pretty much ending. That's when you take the money and go there. But right now he's in his prime.
Facts. No, I was saying when you said that money wasn't an issue, but I'm just like, yo, like I don't know. I can't shake that. I'm like, no, we're not talking a 5-6 year deal but you could, I guess I'm assuming they could figure out what type of pay scale he wanted to be on, whether he could do it for 6 months, a year. I don't know how they would do it. Not that it matters. The money will still be coming in a crazy amount. Bro, go get that. Like you're gonna be a legend anyways. You probably already are in some people's minds. But go get that shit, bro.
Think about this. If he plays for the Saudi League, he won't be able. He's no longer eligible to play for the Champions League, because the Champions League is the top European teams. Saudi Arabia ain't in Europe, so he won't be playing against the other best European teams. And the players who play in the Saudi League, as we've seen, like the talent level has gone up, because they've been throwing money to all these players. It wasn't just Mbappe; they were throwing crazy money to everybody this summer. So like the competition has gone up, but it still ain't nothing like any European league. Even the league that Mbappe plays right now, the French league, which is kind of a cupcake league, like, to be honest, it's still, the Saudi league still doesn't have that level of competition. So if you think a guy at 24 years old plays against much lesser competition, what if he gets worse because of that? Because he's not challenging himself, and his game gets worse. And if you know in professional sports, if he just gets slightly worse, you're a completely different player to everybody else. So, and like, at 24, you don't want to do that.
Sure. Listen. Listen. Let's just put it in this perspective for us, right? Say if we got offered that to do a podcast thing, right? And we, was on some whack network or whatever. I'd be slightly worse to get the $700 million. Like, I don't like, once again, just for the year. If I gotta take a step back to get $700 million, sign me up. Like, it's just that simple. Sign me up. But no, listen, I'll just aside, like, yes, that is a valid point. I get that. I'm just saying, like I said, I just damn. Like, I just, it's that, oh my God. Like, so that's insane to me.
Do we know where Neymar's going? I remember a few episodes back we were talking about it. I know he's still out with his ankle, but is any rumors about him going on or no?
Right now, he's still in PSG. You know what? He might be more likely to go to Saudi Arabia, honestly. Like, he's in his 30s. Yeah. He's injury prone. He's still good, but like, Brazil probably is not going to pick him the next World Cup, like, most likely. Yeah. The Brazilians are tired of him. Like, go to Saudi Arabia where you're kind of like off the grid, make as much money as you can. You're still a huge name. So the Saudis will pay him, not $770 million, but who knows? They can play him like $400 million. I can see that. So, like,
how dare they?
I mean, Neymar has a track history of being hurt a lot, so that's a fair deal.
That, and he's older, and he's not Mbappe. Like, he's not Mbappe.
No, he's not.
Jesus.
He was supposed to be the next guy after Messi, Ronaldo, but he never really quite lived up to that expectation. But it's still still was a superstar caliber player nonetheless.
Facts.
Got you. Well, I mean, hey, you heard it here first. I can't believe that there's even reports that this man may not take it, or there's a belief that he may not take it, but it is what it is.
Like, the way it's confirmed. It's not that like, it's not a rumor. It's confirmed. Yeah. He's not taking it.
That's That's Hey, I hope to be in a position one day that I could walk away from something like that. I don't know if I could. But hey,
that's what I'm saying. That's how you know you up. If you could walk away from $776 million a year, that's how you know you up.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect transition, because someone who's not up is Aaron's favorite running back, Saquon Barkley. The NFL has, obviously they throw money at certain positions, obviously, but running back is not one of them. He's just recently signed a 1-year extension well, they were supposed to give him $10 million for the franchise, but now it's up to $11 million. So basically, he just got like another $1 million in incentives as a deal. So, Aaron, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on that extension? And are the Giants playing in this man's face because of what they did with Andrew Thomas today as well?
Well, it's Saquon's fault, really, because we were offering him at the time a pretty good deal. At one point, it was like he's getting 22 mil guaranteed. So he rejected that, and then he's bashing the Giants on a podcast, like the money something podcast. Let's see, pretty much the last like 10 Super Bowl champion running backs all made under $2 million. So why am I gonna pay a guy like 25 mil to run the ball when your lifespan ends at 29? And Daniel Jones needs a left tackle with Andrew Thomas because this actually helps us because the market now is set for next year. So the Rashawn Slaters, the Tristan Wirfs, all of them, they're going to want way more than they're supposed to. So that all kind of works out. So Joe Shane kept the core. And, I mean, think about it. You saw Le'Veon sat out for a year, wasn't the same. You saw Todd Gurley got that big contract with the Rams when they went to the Super Bowl run. What happened? Got cut during the Rams. I mean, running backs, their lifespan is at least 28, 29, if that. And he's pretty much getting close to that range.
28, 29 is actually generous. Like some running backs go down by 27.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, 2029 is kind of right there.
Yeah. So, you know, I see where Saquon is coming from because, like, yeah, he's still a generational type talent. He's just very injury prone. But the thing is, with Daniel Jones, Aaron, is that Saquon Barkley makes Daniel Jones better. Because with Saquon Barkley,
Saquon's 19 and 40 when he plays with the Giants, where Daniel Jones is not.
But when Saquon's in the backfield, Daniel Jones is not going to get keyed on by the defense. They're going to always have to worry about the run game with Saquon. It gives Daniel Jones an outlet to in the backfield to pass. And at the end of the day, like Saquon is just still extremely fast, strong, can do pretty much everything. But I see where the Giants are coming from too, because yeah, he's a running back. He's already shown that he's getting injured quite frequently. And you just don't know, like, any day now, he could just lose that burst and he could just keep getting injured some more and he might not be worth it. I mean, look at the Panthers. They traded Christian McCaffrey, but the run game somehow got better. So, like, running backs are just not a premium position anymore. And it's sad to see because they're still, for me, one of the most exciting positions to watch. But just no longer a premium position. It's just not worth, unless you got a Derrick Henry type running back or a Nick Chubb type running back. There's no point in paying running backs big money anymore, which sucks. But at the end of the day, like if I'm a kid wanting to play football, why would you choose running back nowadays? One, right. Your legs are going to turn to jello by your 20s, and two, like they don't pay that much. Like. We're going to make the Jaylen Brown thing again. Jaylen Brown makes over almost $60 million a year. Saquon Barkley is happy to take $11 million a year. Who's getting hurt more, Saquon or Jaylen Brown?
Exactly. And you can literally get a good running back in the third round. Alvin Kamara was the third round running back coming out of Tennessee for the Saints. So it's like you don't need to be at number 2 picking like a Saquon. That's just me.
So my question to both of y'all is: should they just take out the running back position then?
They're not. I wouldn't say take it out, but how about this? Because I saw a thing where someone was trying to say, "Oh, because Christian McCaffrey's white, that he has the most money." No, Christian McCaffrey can catch the ball. He's a wide receiver. Played third string quarterback in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Look, he could catch the ball.
Look at Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, by that time, might get that money too because he's an auxiliary wide receiver. Saquon Barkley can catch out the backfield, but he's not at that level of receiving.
Yeah, he's shaky at best. I've seen a lot of passes where he was like wide open. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, I mean, he had some moments at Penn State, but I mean, that hasn't been the same since he got into the league. Obviously, but I don't know. I just think that's a fair question to ask. I think that they clearly, I don't know if there's a remedy to it. Like I think a lot of a lot of teams are doing platoon systems with running backs,
Yeah,
especially our
I
team.
just
The
I
Patriots,
just
like
yeah, I
our
just think
Patriots, they'll never ever since Corey Dillon has been running back by committee.
but yeah, Patriots are a perfect example. I just think gone are the days of the bell cow running back. We got the very few ones, and guess what? The very few ones get paid big money, but it's just
Yeah,
more. We're just going to have more platoon running backs. I just think in the future we're probably not going to have the elite running backs anymore, like a LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson caliber running backs. Maybe that will be our future because most of those players were like, hey, why am I playing running back? I would let me play wide receiver, let me play tight end, let me play linebacker. Like, why am I playing running back? Like, there's no ROI to playing running back. So maybe
I
we're
mean,
just going to have less talented running backs.
you might as well play quarterback because Justin Herbert got 52.6 mil pretty
That
much a
too.
season.
Just that
yeah.
too.
Well, so yeah, so let's speak about that too, because obviously, yeah, 5 years, 262.5, has not won a playoff game. So is that narrative going to be still pushed now? So he got his payday, he hasn't won a playoff game. So remember that was the whole sticker point with Lamar. Oh, he hasn't done much in the playoffs. Why pay him? But you give Justin Herbert 262.5. So Shay, what are your thoughts on that? Because he got the bag, but he hasn't done much in the postseason.
Justin Herbert's only 25 years old. He's still very young. And this quarterback has literally every tool in the toolbox. He has the arm, he has the athleticism, he has the accuracy, he has the marketable look. Like, he is everything you want in a franchise quarterback. You pay him as much money as you could possibly can. He hasn't run a playoff game yet, but at the end of the day, he's still only 25 years old. You're banking on that potential. That is the most talented quarterback. He's more talented than Phillip Rivers, if we really want to be honest.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's
So
easy.
yeah, so I mean, you pay him all that money. There's no question. Like, I don't even think twice about that.
I feel like it's more the Chargers curse more than the quarterbacks. So think about it, they had Drew Brees, Phillip, now
I
Justin
agree.
Herbert. Yeah, and they haven't gone to a Super Bowl.
But even before then, right? Well, long before we were born, Dan Fouts they get to the championship game, and I don't know who the quarterback was when they got to the Super Bowl against San Francisco and got smoked, but yeah, they've had great players come in and out that franchise, but they just it didn't matter if it was in San Diego, LA, whatever. They just haven't been able to figure it out. But no, to me, I don't want that narrative to be brought up. It's like, once again, I think he deserved it, so I don't want to make it seem like I don't that I disagree with that. But to keep saying, oh, because so didn't win nothing, we didn't do this, I'm like, yo, like the court, it's hard to find a a starting quarterback that's going to be dominant or at the least decent. And once again, if Ryan Tannehill got 118 million a few years ago, you can you can give a quarterback anything. Yeah, I'm sorry, like, because Ryan Tannehill is the definition of mediocrity. Hell, Kirk Cousins got a
If
fully
Daniel
guaranteed.
Jones gets big money, come on now. Like, why are we even talking about Herbert?
It wasn't even that much of like money. You're acting like he got Justin Herbert money. We just needed a quarterback, and again, there's no quarterbacks out there. I'm not paying a Ryan Tannehill to be on my
Hey,
team. I guess I've got to stick with Danny Dimes.
we got to defend Danny Dimes, baby. We get it. We understand. We understand. We're gonna see what he's. Listen, he had a pretty good season last year. Once again, as long as he just doesn't keep outrunning people and falling on the 20-yard line, we're good. So but he better step up. Once again, if you're not gonna pay Saquon, and once again you're giving money to the left tackle, which I get, but he better be on. He better be on this year. But hey, listen, kudos to Justin Herbert and his agent. More importantly, for getting that deal done. I don't know when the deal sets in, but either way, the payday is coming. I think so. I don't know. Someone else. I don't know. Did another quarterback get paid too? No, it wasn't a quarterback.
No, with Joe Burrow, they're thinking about
Yeah,
it should
Denver,
be
yeah.
coming soon.
Oh, okay. So me and Aaron talked about this earlier, Shay, on the page, right? So, they got Higgins up, Higgins, Chase, and Burrow. I was saying they may have to let go of Higgins, but like, what do you think happens there in Cincinnati, Seyi? Because they're not going to be able to pay all four of those guys. So what do you think happens there?
I would say, I don't know, depending how the season goes, they might most likely trade Higgins during the season. I think it's clear he'll be the odd man out because you can't pay everybody, but of course they're going to pay Burrow. Of course you got to pay Jamar Chase and T Higgins. Even though he's the number one caliber receiver himself, I mean, you got to let him go. It's just the curse of just drafting way too well. They drafted way too well. They got two top tier wide receivers. You got to let go of the worst top tier wide receiver, and that's T Higgins. So hey, they could get a second round or probably even a first round pick for him, given how valuable wide receivers are in the market. And I'd say a first round pick would be great for the Bengals, but I don't think they could possibly pay all three, so I think they're going to let T. Higgins go.
Yeah, and my thing is Joe Burrow's not taking a pay cut. So I think Aaron, you said
on NFL Live that he will do what needs to be done to keep T. Higgins and all that. Plus, shout out to Burke, who's I actually was on his sports show yesterday on Twitter. He was talking about that with Joe Mixon. He could pretty much leave because they drafted a better guy, almost like a Samaje Perine, but a little bit better in Chase Brown. So I think that Joe Mixon's boom, and then Tyler Boyd's your odd man out. Listen, T. Higgins is better than Tyler Boyd.
Oh, I mean,
so you got to pay
Tyler Boyd is gone, yeah, but you can't pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
But also, too, the Bengals owner is always cheap. So
right.
he won't be able to contracts.
Right. So if that's the case,
so Joe Burrow is in jeopardy.
I don't know. I just think to me, you just made the point, Aaron. If their ownership is cheap, there's no way they keep all those guys. There's no way.
If
he's not taking a pay cut. He's not taking a pay cut.
If Burrow's a man of his word, like if he's willing to take a severe pay cut to get T. Higgins his money, then it can happen. Who knows? Burrow might be that type of person.
That's what he said.
I mean, we only see one quarterback do that consistently.
Aaron Rodgers? He just did that today. If that's what you're talking about.
I said consistently.
So Aaron Rodgers, he just did it again for the Jets. 2-year, $75 million. He just took a $35 million pay cut to help the team.
When has he ever took a pay cut for the Packers?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Thank you. And I'm like, ever. They didn't draft well of him, whatever. But I mean, he
it's the opposite.
So they never drafted well for him. He's like, hey, can I get some money? They give him money, and then they still don't draft well for him.
Yeah, it was the opposite. It wasn't like he would ever take a pay cut for the Packers. Whatever quarterback got paid more than him, he had in his contract, I'm going to automatically get paid more than that guy. Whoever gets paid more than me, I'll get paid a dollar more than that guy.
Right.
Just to make sure I'm the highest paid.
It's like that.
He deserves it, though. You're acting like he's some scrub.
Sure.
Not saying he doesn't, but there's a reason why he had no talent.
There you go.
No, it's drafting DBs in the first round instead of receivers. That's what's happened.
Without the defense they had at times, they don't even get to the playoffs.
Let's not say things we don't mean. That's
true. Most teams would take Jared Alexander as a corner. They've had some other guys there that have contributed. Even remember when they won, Charles Woodson, B.J. Raji, Clay Matthews. So I mean, I'm just saying the defense wins. And I'm surprised it's just scoffing at that. Because defense is the reason why you have 2 championships.
It helps a little bit, but also we had an offense. Stop acting like Plaxico Burress was a bum, and Brandon Jacobs and my Bradshaw.
They were the bum. I'm saying the defense is why it's okay. Just like y'all say, defense is the reason why Brady got the first 3. So we can't.
That's really factual, though. Come on.
That's factual with the Giants too. What are we talking about?
We weren't even ranked top 10. I'm not getting into this because this could be a long.
I'm just about to play
Go to the next topic.
The playoff run. Now he want to jump into stats. In the playoff run, they became a top 10. Fine, great. They became a top 10 defense. They won. Give him credit. He still want to argue. I don't get that. Giving the man credit, he still want to argue.
I'm tired of that argument that the offense was a bunch of scrubs. The offense did a lot too in those two Super
Oh
Bowls.
my gosh. Okay. Congratulations. Yeah. So training camp starts this week. As I said, we're recording this on July 26th. Any players on our respective teams that we're looking at, and that we're excited to see during training camp. So Shay, I'll start with you. Obviously, with our Patriot. Anybody you're excited to see,
I,
in this training camp?
I just want to see the development of Tyquan Thornton. I just want to see if we finally have a good receiver that we drafted. I just want to see the ROI for him. I just want to see if he showed some flashes his rookie year. So I just want to see like his second year. What's he going to do? What is he going to do? What type of role? What type of step is he going to take? Because that number one receiver, that void is open. It ain't Devontae Parker. That void is open. So, hey, Tyquan, we looking for you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Rashawn, but I guess not.
Well, you just talk about.
I thought you were staying with the Patriots.
D-man.
I only have one, and just because it was on Hey Rookie, Welcome to the NFL, and it was great. It was a great timeout. It's Jalen Hyatt, just because the Dallas Cowboys coach was saying that he doesn't really have a skill set, and it was just a speed. I want to prove him wrong week one. I'm excited for that, and Isaiah Hodgins actually as well, another receiver.
Yeah,
I think because he did really well down the stretch. Hopefully now he actually goes after the ball instead of letting the ball come to him. Like really, go after with the catch. Those are the only two that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's so one is Mac Jones, and then two is the rookie that we got in the first round, Christian Gonzalez. So I'll start with Mac Jones. So with Mac Jones, obviously, this is going into year 3. Some are viewing this as a make it break it year for him. This is his third coordinator in 3 years, even though Bill O'Brien is someone that he's been familiar with from his collegiate days down in Alabama. But I'm excited to see if he makes the progressions that he did his rookie year. Last year really was just in shambles, really from the jump, and there's no other way to say it. But he looks a little more fit. I'm hoping he comes in with the right, attitude and demeanor. And really being focused towards winning. I thought it was pretty interesting what Calais Campbell said about him too. I didn't realize that. I knew that Mac Jones talked trash, but I didn't know that he was super disrespectful on the field. So I'm hoping no one targets him in a crazy way because he talks crazy. But it is what it is if that happens. But then, like I said, with Gonzalez, though, I think that with Christian Gonzalez, Jack Jones, Kyle Duggar, Jalen Mills, and company. They have a chance to have a really good secondary if everyone plays up to par. So but Mac Jones, Christian Gonzalez. I'm sure there'll be other guys that'll pop up during training camp, but those are two guys that come to mind right away for me. And I'm hoping they have a good camp and it bleeds into the regular season. So, and any last words on that before we move on?
No, but it's funny that one of my friends is was a Washington fan. I don't even know what to call them anymore. And he was actually really mad on draft night because he wanted Christian Gonzalez, and they didn't draft him.
We'll see what Forbes does. I don't know how Rico felt about Forbes, but
that's what I was about to say. Same thing. I was on a Rico show. He was so mad that they didn't draft Christian Gonzalez. They just drafted Forbes instead. And then we got Gonzalez, so I was elated. And then all of a sudden, the commenters on Rico's live stream was just like, "Well, Gonzalez ain't that fast, anyways, or he don't have as many picks as Forbes." It was like, "I think Forbes is gonna be better." Like, nah. Before this draft happened, you guys all loved Gonzalez, but now y'all became salty when Washington didn't draft him.
Yep. And that's always the case. That always happens. But I mean, listen, I think for Gonzalez, once again, if there's anything that Bill knows how to do, is draft defensive players. Once again, I'm hoping he could be more like Asante Samuel than Jawan Williams. Because there's always one bad apple there. But
the difference is Christian Gonzalez is going to tackle from Asante Samuel. That's the difference.
Yeah, facts. Cause I was like, whoa, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it's almost that time of the year for the fantasy, football crew. We got the fantasy guru on there, so
You
I'll
already
give you the
know.
floor. I'll give you the floor, fantasy guru. Any early advice before we get into the draft this season? What to look
So
for?
actually, I haven't really done any drafts yet. I'm gonna check in with one of my homeboys to see if he's still doing this money draft. Money was a little bit tight last year, so I couldn't do it. Now this year, I'm ready to go. Fresh off a fantasy football championship, I'm ready to do the money league. Once I get this money league set, that's when I'll go through my scouting report and I'll see any guys. I'll let you know any guys that I feel is going to have a big year. A big year. I stay away from the hype. Like I'm already seeing preliminary right now. Bijan Robinson, he's going to get overdrafted. So
Yeah, I keep
I'm
seeing
gonna.
first round, like
You know
7,
what?
8.
I believe he is a first round talent though. In PPR leagues at least. In PPR leagues he will be.
Obviously.
But still at the end of the day, like for where the ADP where he's going to get drafted at, I'm going to stay away from it. That everybody knows about him. So I'm here to tell you about the people that you should know that everybody don't know, okay? But Bijan Robinson, I'm gonna stay away from him.
What about Kyle Pitts? Is this the year where we can finally trust him?
You might need to see training camp or preseason. I like to see I like to see training camp preseason, see how involved he is, how Desmond Ridder, because we don't know Mariota didn't really look for him. So let's see what Desmond Ridder does with Kyle Pitts. I think this is where training camp and preseason, that's when we'll know how involved Kyle Pitts will be with the offense.
I'm just looking forward to Jamar Gibbs on the Lions. I feel like he's the guy that they thought Swift was. Because I saw he was doing more receiver stuff, catching the ball. They feel like he's a good back, especially with David Montgomery there too. It's a good 1-2 punch, but that's the main guy I'm looking at.
It's the platoon thing that kind of worries me because you don't know how many carries David Montgomery is going to get. But also with David Montgomery, he's bound to get hurt during the season. So I mean, as a David Montgomery fantasy owner, I know that. So, but yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, he might be good for PPR. Definitely, I can see that.
I actually think the guy that he replaced is going to be pretty good too down in New Orleans. Jamal Williams. He had a really good year last 2 years actually. He played really well. So I understand that move. I mean, outside of fantasy, I didn't get why they let him just let him walk like that.
He wanted too much money.
I mean, he got what? So he got $8 million from $8 million from St. Louis from New Orleans. I'm like $4 million. For what's going on right now, I think $4 million is what the value is.
I think he wanted more from Lions, and he didn't know how his market was. And then when he didn't get that, he settled for New Orleans. At least I think that was the story that I remember.
Gosh, no, that sounds about right. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think honestly, when I seen his interview with him and Aaron Jones on the pivot line, I think that's what kind of I was like, man, this dude's really a dope individual. But and then on top of that, he plays really well. But yeah, we'll see. But no, like I said we have plenty of time to get into that. But
big hot take though. Big hot take. Chris Olave will be better than Garrett Wilson this year in fantasy.
Okay. So we'll hey, this is already on wax, so we'll have it.
I will put this on TikTok. I will make sure.
Okay. Yeah, get the Ohio State people riled up. So, want to end it with some NBA stuff. So we talked about it at the beginning briefly with comparing contracts, but Aaron's guy, the guy that he thought was coming to Houston, the guy that many people thought was going to leave Boston this year, Jaylen Brown, product of Atlanta, Georgia, 5 years, 304. Richest deal in NBA history for now, because it'll change next year. Somebody will get whether Tatum or somebody else will get that deal next year. As of now, it's richest deal in NBA history. So, Aaron, I'll start with you, sir. Just what are your thoughts on that deal, and how bummed are you that he didn't land in Houston at least for the moment?
I mean, I guess it's a good deal for him. I just want to know though, can Jason Tatum? Do you have enough money for him? I know his super max is coming up. I believe it's the 5 for $314. So
Yeah.
do the Celtics have enough for Jason Tatum? And two, it's all right. I thought he would go to Houston because of Ime, but he could just go rot up in Boston, I guess.
Shay.
Of course, they got enough for Jason Tatum. When they made this deal for Jaylen Brown, they already agreed that we're going to go well over the luxury tax.
Oh,
So, because there's no way they're going to pay Jaylen Brown but not pay Jason Tatum.
Yeah,
So I think paying Jaylen Brown basically tells you, yeah, we're all locked in on this duo for the future. It's just that the Derek Whites of the world and Brogdon,
Oh,
the Brogdons, and maybe even the Porzingises in the future, y'all just gonna have to go because we can't. This money can't go around everywhere. If we ain't, if but the thing is, this puts the pressure on them to win a championship because if they're not winning a championship soon, like they're gonna have to blow it all up. Like it's gonna get to that point because it's just way too much money invested in these two guys.
Yeah.
Brown right now and Tatum a year from now. It's gonna be way too much money invested in these two guys to not try to win a championship.
Yeah.
And
No,
confirmed,
that's
Joe
valid.
Mazzulla did say Derek White is starting point guard, which we all, I guess, kind of knew.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, Derek White is seen differently now than he was when he first got here. I think that, I figured that he would do well right away, but I think it took fans a while to warm up to that. By the time he caught fire in the Miami series last year, I think fans like, okay, like he is someone that can be that he could be a staple going forward. So I think right now he's around 17, 18 million a year. I would assume that the bump for him would be up to maybe 21, 22 mil a year. I think they go up to that number for him. I don't think they go up to that number for Brogdon. So I think Brogdon becomes the automated. I mean, he was already someone that was on the trading block, for them. But I mean, listen, yeah, they're definitely going to sign Tatum and Brown. So Brown's extension goes on the books to 24-25 season, and then Tatum's extension will go on the books the 25-26 season. So they'll do what Phoenix has done, right? Especially if they're still in contention, people are going to sign 1 year, veteran minimum deals to join the team. They did it in Phoenix. They'll do it here in Boston and do it in any other team that's contending. So I don't think that should be a big concern for them. Porzingis did get the extension. I think Porzingis signed a 2-year, $60 million extension as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's here for the next few years. So I wouldn't be too worried about like they're committed to that trio, for the foreseeable future. But the reason why I wanted to make sure I addressed this because there was Celtics Twitter as we talked about this has been. Let's take a deep breath. They've had some toxic moments, meaning Celtics Twitter. But this Jaylen Brown situation has put Celtics Twitter at a new low, in my opinion. Everything has been about, can he dribble left? Oh, he fumbled it bad. Now he's your fourth or fifth best player. And I hope that people listen to his press conference today, right? You can go on to see on us media. I think had it on there. Or NBC Sports Boston, one of the two. I can't remember. The man signed $300 million deal, and the first thing he talks about is bringing the Black Wall Street to Boston, and helping with the wealth disparity that's in Boston. And people are clowning about, can he go left? Can he do this? Or he's paid to play basketball. So in other words, you're telling this man to shut up and dribble, which is wild. That's one thing. Was I frustrated with Jaylen Brown at the end of the year? Absolutely. The man gets 27 a night. And regardless of what you think he can do or can't do, that's hard to come by. In any era, it's hard to get 27 a night. And he's doing it, being with one hand, so to speak. So he's a baller. He is someone that clearly wants to be here. Once again, I told Aaron, I was jokingly, but it was serious. I'm like, you're not turning down that type of money. Like, once again, I said to Aaron, he's about generational wealth. Like, and anybody that's about that, you're not turning down that deal. When you can help yourself and help others, you're not turning down that type of deal. So I'm glad he got it. He deserved it. Once again, he got to go out there and work. He's gotten better every year, except for the 2019 year. But that was just a really weird year for everybody on that team because of what happened with Kyrie and Hayward and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, congrats to Jaylen Brown. It's well deserved. It'll be well deserved when Tatum has his press conference next year about resigning. But yeah, like you said, Shay, you're right. It's time. There's no more excuses. they got to get the job done within the next 2 to 3 years. Because, like I said, if not, then like I say it's a failed experiment, and then like I say you have to go from there. So, any other thoughts on that before we get the final words?
Well, I do like Derek White as a player, but I think it's just the same problem they had with Marcus Smart
Right.
last year, in that he's just not a true point guard. And I
Yeah.
still think they need a true point guard
Right.
in order to take the next level, because we're talking about Jaylen Brown's left hand. If they had a primary ball handler at point guard, they wouldn't be having those problems. But that's the thing.
Cool.
They don't have a primary ball handler at point guard, so Tatum and Jaylen Brown usually got split point guard duties, and I feel like they're not at their best if they have to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely JB. Tatum is taking some strides in playmaking, but yeah, he's more the dribble, take a step back, three. So I mean, once again, they got big men that can pass the ball too. Like Horford's good at passing towards Rob when he's at the top of the key. But yeah, they still have that need. So I agree with that. So maybe like I said, maybe they find somebody during the season, whether it's at the trade deadline or they resolve the issue by next year. But hopefully Sam Cassell and some other guys that join the coaching staff can give some tips on how to be that facilitator, because that's what Sam Cassell was everywhere he went in his NBA career, maybe outside of Houston. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But Aaron, I'll start with you for final words.
Nah, Jesus. So pretty much growing every day in the Twitter world, TikTok, and all that. I appreciate all of our supporters and followers. I'm doing the best I can to follow back for everybody on That's My Sports. I pretty much run that. So if you see me throwing shade, it's pretty much me. And we need to figure out a nickname for Shay. So if anyone can figure that out, because it was the Shay and Aaron show. I tried to do a nickname, but he did not like it, folks. And as always, Black people matter.
Yeah, you gotta do.
We'll get one. We'll get one soon.
You know what? Y'all need a nickname for me. It's just Seyi Omanera. Like, if you don't know how to pronounce it, that's on you. That, like, yeah, we don't need no nickname. My name ain't getting gentrified. It's just gonna be the way it is.
I like that. Okay, that's real.
Yeah.
And if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, I believe it was episode 154. I believe it was a Shay and Aaron show. So I said Shay like that. he did not like it, even though I know how to say his last name. I wasn't
even expecting it, so I'm just like, wait, what? And I was like, awesome. I guess we ending it like that.
Yeah. Oh man, no, but no. Oh no, that's fine. No, we can keep it as what it was. But yeah, no, like Aaron said, keep showing the support. Once again, listen, it is now, like I said, July 26th. We just said that about 3 or 4 times. A few months ago, we were at 49 followers on Twitter. We are now well over 800. So the 1,000 mark is coming. So once again, keep the support coming. I'm saying you show some love on TikTok, like Aaron said. Even gained a few more subscribers on YouTube as well. So yeah, keep listening, keep spreading the word. Run up the numbers, like, smash, subscribe on the YouTube, like the videos with Chelsea Sherrod, like the videos that we have up there so far. Once again, more content on there is coming. So yeah, just keep spreading the word, keep showing love, and once again, we're going to pick it right back up because football season is around the corner. So our wonderful football shows will be back in full effect. The 1, 2, 3s, the let's not say things we don't mean, the clean your desk is all coming back. For your listening pleasure. So yes, and as always, Black Lives Matter, not just when it's convenient for you. So for Shay Romanero, for Aaron Cass, I am Rashawn Buchanan, and until next time, we will see you. Peace.